Morning, folks.
Morning.
It's us, Empress Jackrabbit.
Troy Boo 151.
It is first thing in the morning
Right.
that we are taping because we wanted to tape last night, but we really got caught up with Empire and Catfish right after that.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a review on Catfish, something we don't normally do because it hasn't really been on, like in terms of a new season since we've been recording here lately. But this one we have to do because it was in Milwaukee, and it was Miracle and Giovanni.
Miracle and Giovanni. First off, where they were in Milwaukee was on the street that we used to live on. So we're like, oh my God, let's go here by our house.
Right.
Folks tripping. So you never know who you live next to.
You sure don't.
You don't. But the whole gist of it was she thinks she's talking to this really handsome, light-skinned dude, got the green eyes and the freckles. She thinks she's speaking to him. They've been texting off and on. Did she say how long? A couple years?
If they did, I don't remember that. I don't remember the specifics of. But anyways, they have this friendship, and they, he speaks to her first thing in the morning and last thing at night, and he's supposed to be some kind of a producer, rapper, whatever, and all of that. And he is from Milwaukee, he tells her, but he went down to Atlanta to get into the music scene, but found that his sister had lupus. Oh, interesting. But his sister had lupus, and that he had to come back up here and to see about her. But they still have not met up.
Right. So she's suspicious. Of course, they're getting Eve involved. But Max is not here. He's out shooting a movie. So we have Charlamagne instead.
Oh, he was so good.
He was hilarious.
He was the show. If you listen to The Breakfast Club or watch The Breakfast Club, or if you look at Guy Code and all the different stuff, Charlamagne is funny. They try to give him little shows. He's not yet been able to carry a show.
Right.
But he added a lot to this, baby.
It was hilarious. Every 5 minutes he's telling Eve about something. Black folks don't do this, or don't do that yet.
And he was so shocked to see Charlamagne go through his investigations, like when he takes the pictures and finds them. But anyways, they go over to her house, and actually, as it turned out, Miracle house it turned out Miracle and the Catfisher, they live close to each other. Actually, I know right where they both live. They live in the same neighborhood, and they didn't mention that in the show, but they really did live in the same neighborhood. And so they go over to her house. Her house is cute. It's all fixed up and stuff like that. And she's in her feelings about him, but she wants to get a chance to meet him and make this turn into something, because they're showing us their like off her phone, they're texting, and the feelings as they go along are getting deeper and deeper.
They really are, and she's all into it. Charlamagne's like, you don't know who this person is. It may be somebody else. She's all, no, it's him. She's so sure it's him.
So they go to Charlamagne and Nev. They go to like a Starbucks cafe on the east side. You can tell it's the east side if you live in Milwaukee. They go to the east side where everything is happening, and they have free Wi-Fi, and they start their search. And come to find out, they figure out how to find this Giovanni, this fake guy. And so Nev and Charlamagne decide to put Giovanni's picture up on his Instagram, his Twitter, and his Facebook. And if anybody knows him, let them know. And about 6 minutes later,
people were coming and telling them about him, and they found his Instagram page.
Right.
And they were looking through it, like, I don't think this the man. We found Giovanni, but I don't think this is the man.
And they actually contacted him, and he said no. They asked him, did he have anybody in Milwaukee, or any relatives, or any reason to be there, connections there, business-wise. And he said no, he had never been to Milwaukee.
Right.
And he didn't know this female and stuff. So they end up going back over to her house, and of course, they always got to break the news that this is not who he is. So she's real shocked, and she got like one good eye. The tear is still coming out the eye. And this is what I don't understand. Why is it that you have not FaceTime, Skyped, Hangout, nothing with this person, and then you're so shocked. Really? Shocked at what?
You can't be shocked. You cannot be shocked because you don't know who you're talking to.
Exactly. So they find out that that's not him, but they end up tracing the phone number, the cell phone number of the guy that is texting her, and we find old Ricky Witherspoon.
Yeah. It was so crazy. And we were steadily scared, like hoping that it wasn't somebody we knew.
Right,
somebody we went to school with or something.
I really did thought it was either one of my students or one of her friends or somebody in the neighborhood. But luckily, I've never seen them. And we lived in that neighborhood quite a long time. So, they could have been new, but, people more kind of keep to themselves. But anyways, he turns out to be this kind of big dude with some kind of jacked up mohawk cut, ugly as all outdoors and stuff like that.
Supposedly rapper or something.
So they end up calling him, and he is really rude.
Really?
As Milwaukee people are. They can be. I'm not going to say all, but.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm telling you. Anyway,
get out my face with the phone.
Right. He was like, oh, I'm busy. Well, I'm going to email you this address and you can come over here, but no, I'm finna go. And he hung up right in their face. I'm like, wow. So they get the address and they go get Miracle. And they decide to go over to the house and take her over there.
Yeah. Okay, they're at the house. They finally get there. They knock on the door and she's like, oh, no. When he comes out the door, she's like, oh, no. She's like,
This is not Giovanni by no stretch of the imagination. So the dude is acting real funny. She's like, Nev said, well, don't you want to come down and talk to her? Because she was down by the car, her and Charlamagne, right?
Right.
And Nev, he was kind of like in the middle between their front porch and the car. And he's like, well, don't you want to come down and talk to her? He was like, sitting up, no, she can come here and talk to me. I'm like, oh, you got attitude.
Right.
Okay, really? So then the next thing you know, he starts scooting up in the house. Yeah. And tell them to come up. I'm like, don't y'all go up in that house. Y'all do not know Milwaukee. It's just like Chirac, baby. They will blow your brains going up in some old body upstairs place. It's a duplex. It is actually a side-by-side duplex. And you got to go in their door to go upstairs to the living quarters. So they getting ready to go, and Charlamagne is like telling Neve, you don't go up in no angry black man house. You don't know what you walking into. You're going to find your ass dead in there. But they had the show cameras lead the way.
Right.
And crazy Nev, he always gonna be Mr. Fearless. So he walks up in the house. Now the dude is walking to the back room. And Nev, right. Nev is following up in the back room, like, get off from back there. What are you doing? And in the meantime, they pan the camera and they look at this shelf full of pills. I don't know what kind of pills or what, but I'm talking about it's full. It's at least 15, I say 12 to 15 bottles of pills there. And they kind of have them turned around, so you can't really see like what the prescription is. But you can see, we're like, oh Lord. I'm thinking somebody's selling pills out of here, or my husband's watching. He was like, "Oh, it's probably somebody mama up on all them pills and stuff like that." We don't know what's going on.
Right.
Okay. Here comes Ricky Witherspoon out the back room, and somebody's behind him, and they cut to a commercial. And we're like, oh my God. We trying to figure out who is it? Who could this be?
I'm thinking he gonna come out in a wig.
Girl, I thought he was gonna be dressed in a wig and a dress and some lipstick, looking like Aisha with the bang.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't really know what was happening.
No.
So they come back and it's a woman.
Yes, they come out. It's her. It's a woman. Right. And she says that she's the one that's been catfishing the girl.
Right. And that Ricky is her husband.
Yes, we're like, oh my God.
Right. And he's very upset. Now, let me just say this very clear. He's very upset. He told her, you should have had stopped this. And she's writing romantic things to this girl. Yeah. With Ricky right there. She's saying, oh, he used to be right there next to me, laying on top of me, and I'm writing you and this and that. And the girl Miracle is obviously very upset.
Right.
She's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to me and everything? And all of a sudden, this chick, I don't even know her name.
I don't know.
Wants to get attitude. Talking about you, basic bitch. I'm like, basic? Right. She got some old 1990 acid wash ripped up jeans, some kind of fishnet top and something underneath it, looking basic as hell, and with a cheap ass wig, weave, whatever in, and trying to tell her about herself. Yeah. And she talking about, I tried to end it 2 or 3 times. Never. And that could be the cutting of the tapes and stuff on the MTV part. But every time we saw all the long back and forth text messages, it was nothing ever written about it's over or let's break up or nothing like that. In fact, she even had made up a point where supposedly Giovanni was on the phone and some chick grabbed the phone and was telling her, if you come around here, Miracle, you're going to get it and this and that and all of that. But at the end of the day, none of that it was all wrong. It was all a lie. So she stood up there and lied some more. They tried to blame it on lupus. Yeah. And that had her acting out, and her husband goes to work from 6 in the morning to 10 at night, and she's at home alone. She can't be out in the sunshine, but then she did end up being outside. Can't take the kids out, and I said, I don't understand why she can't sit on the front porch and have an umbrella over. I see it all the time in Vegas. There's little people walking around with an umbrella when the heat is extreme. Okay. So anyways, Nev ends up, they all leave, and Miracle and Charlamagne is going in on her for her lies and the fact that she the one looked basic and all of that. And then the next morning, Nev says that he's going to go back and talk with her and find out what this is all about by himself. And he does. And she just talked about her being lonely and by herself all the time. Yeah, she just, she's sick of her husband at work, and, she's so tired of this lupus, and she's needed somebody to talk to. But she also says that she was kind of experimenting, messing around with women. And she said she really want to go into that because her parents were uber religious, and, you're going to hell if you're doing all this. So she didn't take it further. And Milwaukee is like that. Has a very religious aspect to it. Right. So it's not open like that, with different types of relationships. Nevertheless, they get Miracle to come back over. Miracle and Charlamagne, they come back over there along with Nev, and they all sit down, and the 2 ladies, I guess they apologize, and they're gonna try to stay in touch or whatever. So I didn't watch to the very end. You know how they get back in touch with them and all that. I didn't watch to see all that. But I watched Catfish, and I haven't watched it for a while, because the new season hadn't started. But with Charlamagne on there, baby, he brought me everything I needed. He had the real black man common sense, instead of just running up and in stuff. Right. He was very hilarious. Unfortunately, Neve didn't seem to get it or get the jokes or whatever, but he was very funny. They did put Max on for a minute. They called him about where could they look for these people, what search engine could they go to, which he did help them. But he was on a set down in somewhere on the beach. Somewhere. It was nice looking. Yeah. So I don't know if he's not going to be on right now this season. So I don't know what's happening to him. But it was a great show. I look forward to watching it again. I've never been one to watch it religiously like that because I know I can always catch the rerun on MTV. So that's what I'll do. And I hope Charlamagne comes back again. Charlamagne, you did a great job. Really, you're hilarious. And you were live tweeting too, so that made it even better. So thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Yep. We've got Empire coming up next. See ya. See ya.